Join us as we follow one-off builds to all-out restorations in Stuart, Florida's Dreamboat District, home to some of the best custom boat builders in the world. From modest to over-the-top, industry experts from the district's premier facilities show how it's done. Fiberglass repair, custom paintwork, engine rigging, electronics installations, and more. And boating editor George Labonte shares the stories of boaters who have already turned their dreams into reality. This is Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat.
So basically, our workload is pretty hectic at the moment. We've taken on a couple of big projects. We've just got a Venture 34 in that needs a hull side respray. The owner, Bob Schmollinger, has chosen a really beautiful color. It's called Speed Blue. It's quite a challenging color to paint because it's a metallic. Basically, at Two Rivers, we're really wanting to do a lot of customizing, and face it, everybody wants to customize, whether it's their boat, their car, or whatever. So we're going to get the boat in the shop. The guys are all briefed, they know exactly what they need to do, and we're going to get cracking, get this job out as quickly as we can.
My name is Bob Schmollinger. I am the owner of a 34-foot Venture center console, and I keep the boat in New Jersey 8 months of the year and 4 months here in Stuart and Palm Beach. Up north, we go to the canyons, which is approximately 60-70 mile trip, and we've done well. We've caught a big eye tuna, 175 pounds, white marlin, even a blue marlin on that boat. I'm retired, so I have 12 months a year to fish. And so in 2017, I repowered it, but after 13 years of wear and tear, the boat couldn't be touched up. So I figured this was a good time to repaint the boat as well.
When we got the Venture 34 in, it's actually in great condition. Bob does a fantastic job looking after his boat. Bob's going to keep us on our toes to make sure that that boat comes out 110%. So what we're going to do is we're going to get everybody together, get them to bag the boat, make sure that we're not going to get anything dirty, we shouldn't get dirty. Get everybody on it, get it standard, get it fed, and get it painted.
Well, today I'm working on the 34 Venture project. As far as I know, we're going to be painting the boat. So first off, we've got to sand it and then get it into brine. And after that, it's probably sand it again. What you want to do is get the clear off the boat. Get it down to where it's flat. You got to eye it. You eye it and you feel it. Don't trust your eyes all the time. Run your hands over it. You can feel it. You can tell when the sandpaper starts to slide across properly. The sander will catch wherever there's a rough spot. You know, a lot of it's by feel. I had a hand in pretty much everything. Just taping off, bagging, you know, wiping it down. You know, let the painters do their thing. They're professionals. They do the painting. You know, we just get it ready. We get it ready for them. Hopefully they're satisfied.
I'm working on the Venture 34. Dale has me sanding the engine cowlings and prepping them for paint. So while sanding the cowlings, I use a 120 grit sandpaper, which leaves a good flat finish for the painters to either spray primer or spray their paint onto the primer. The main important thing is that you pay attention to the detail, because you spend the most time with the part sanding it and prepping it for paint. And making sure it's clean, making sure there's no contaminant on the part, and that everything is really sanded to the point where it's ready to get coated with whatever it is they're going to be spraying on it. And these are all ready to go, and now I'm just going to pass them off to Mike and Nate for spray.
So the guys have done a great job getting the boat sanded and prepped. I've done a good inspection of the boat. Everything's looking great. The guys have found all the pinholes. We're going to get it into primer. The engine cowlings have been sanded and stripped down. We have a few tricks up our sleeve on how those motors are going to look. We're going to do some custom paint. And I think Bob's going to be super pleased with the outcome on the motor cowlings and sides.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us as the professionals at Two Rivers Boatworks give the 34-foot Venture project a very custom paint job.
So yeah, Two Rivers Boatworks, we got a 34 Venture in, belonging to Bob Schmollinger. We're getting ready to get the boat painted. The guys have done a great job prepping it, and now it's up to my paint crew to wave their magic wand and make the boat look fantastic.
I'm Nate, I'm working on the 34 Venture. So now that the boat's been prepped, it's ready to go, I'm gonna mix a 545. It's a 2-part epoxy primer. It's got really good adhesion to most surfaces. It's a 1-to-1, 1-part base, 1-part converter, and then we reduce it 25% with the T6. So we'll do 3 coats of the primer. We'll do 1 light coat and we'll let that flash off. Then we'll come back in with 2 heavier coats to give it nice coverage. After that, we'll usually give it about 24 hours to cure, and we'll come back in, sand it down. After we sand it back down, then it's finally ready for top coat. Yeah, so the color that Bob chose is a speed blue. So we're gonna spray the Awlcraft SE, that's their metallic line. We're gonna mix it up. It's a 2-to-1 to 15% ratio, so I'll use 2 parts of the base, 1 part of the T3 reducer, and 15% of Allcat 2 to catalyze it. It's a pretty difficult color to apply. It's a metallic. When applying metallics, you've got to be very consistent with your hand. Every time that you go from one side of the boat, you've got to go the other side of the boat. It's got to be the same distance, same pressure, or otherwise you're going to get 2 different colors out of the gun. We apply 2 coats, 1 light coat, and we come back with a 2nd coat to wet it out completely. They recommend that you spray the clear on that immediately after the paint. You can't come back to the SE and clear it after it's been dried. You'll have too much texture underneath it. You can feel the metallic flake in there. So after the base and the clear coat went down, we had to go back and add a boot stripe to the boat.
Bob insisted on having the boot stripe put on the boat, but we sort of added a little Two Rivers twist to it, and we sprayed it out in a pearl base and then a silver base, and then we shot it with clear over the base.
So in the clear coat that we used, it was one of Dale's proprietary blends. He adds some crystal to it, and that just adds another layer of depth to the metallic base coat.
So when you actually look at it, you're not sure whether it's the metallic that's sparkling like that or the clear that's sparkling. The paint job looks this thick because of all those little bits of crystal that are reflecting light as you look at it.
The engine cowlings didn't need much fairing, they just needed a good scratch on them for mechanical bond. So we spray the quick build, that way we don't have to sand it because it didn't need any fairing. They were, pretty much perfect at that point. They could go right with paint right over top. So the colors we used on that was the pearl white that we used on the boot stripe as the main color for the engine cowlings. Painted them, cleared over it. After the clear dried, then we could come back in, put our taping on, and we did all the details and the accents with the speed blue.
When Bob first approached us about painting the boat, we were just going to paint the hull sides, and I met with him and we had a conversation about custom cowlings and so on. So that's when I brought in those blue bands going down the back of the motor, and I really feel that it's kind of unique. I haven't seen it. You see a lot of guys painting that cap on top of the motor color, but they don't actually carry that color down the back of the motor. I just think it was a little bit more modern, a little cleaner than how it came from the factory.
I love it. I think the boat came out great, beautiful boat. Bob should be proud to drive that around town.
Once I put a light on it, and it just had this good depth, and there was this almost change in blues happening as you move the light around. Thank you to my guys for creating that spectacular finish on Bob's boat. They did a great job.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join the team at Two Rivers Boatworks as they put the finishing touches on the 34-foot Venture project.
So at Two Rivers Boatworks, we got this 34 Venture in, and we got it in to do a custom paint job on the motors and a hull side paint. So where we've got up to is we got the boat prepped, we got it primed, we've got it painted, got the clear coat on, we've put boot stripes on, painted boot stripes on, not taped boot stripes. We've done a custom paint job on the motors. We've put a new rub rail on the boat, and the boat is really, really looking good, but it's not quite there yet. I personally like wet sanding and polishing the boat, buffing and polishing the boat out. The reason I do that is I really like the paint to be glass smooth, and I believe that the only way to really get it done is to wet sand and then buff and polish that boat. And that makes it clear coat, really straight and look good when it's on the water. As I've mentioned before, Bob's done a great job at maintaining his boat. He's really meticulous. That boat is perfectly maintained. However, the boat being a few years old, it's of course going to pick up a few scratches and nicks and whatever. Nate got on the job and he's been able to fix those for us. He's done a fantastic job. Thank you, Nate. The registration numbers, we realized that it was a unique font and we couldn't quite match the font. So I got an artist to recreate that font for us, and they cut new registration numbers. We've put them on the boat. It looks fantastic. So we wrapped Bob's boat up and the boat looked awesome in the sun. It was glowing like a jewel. We loaded the boat on the trailer and took it down to the slip, and we met up on the water for a boat ride. Wow, what a nice boat.
Dale assured me that that boat is going to look just like the sample I made you. I said, Dale, I'm taking your word for it. I said, you haven't misled me this far, so we're going to go ahead with it. You know, we did, and I'm happy with it, so it really worked out. Can't wait to get it back to New Jersey and get it out there among all my friends that knew my old boat. Show up a little bit, and they'll all think it's a new boat, because I haven't told many people. I'm sure of it.
It was quite interesting. There were definitely some people turning their heads to have a good look at the boat. We got a few thumbs up saying nice boat and so on. So it's not like the other 100-speed blue boats out there, because everything's working well on the boat. You know, the custom motors, that speed blue, it sparkles, you know, it changes color as the light and the water move around it. It's a pretty spectacular boat, and you know, he looks after his boat really well, so the rest of the boat looks fantastic. And it's a good looking boat. It's one that I would be proud to own.
It worked out well, and I'm happy with what was done. But in addition to that, Dale was there to help with anything I needed. You know, he helped me pull the boat out using his trailer, and he kept it on his work trailer while all the work was being done. I mean, he couldn't do more for me. Anything I asked, he was right there to help.
I think we went above and beyond with him, and at Two Rivers, it's not just about us doing the job for you. We like doing the other little things, and at the end of the day, everybody's happy, and the boat looks amazing, and I'm sure it's going to blow the socks off the people in New Jersey.